Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. If your credit cards are even close to being maxed out right now, I need you to hear this because this might be the most important video that you watch all year. High credit card balances are not just costing you interest, they're quietly killing your credit score and they're blocking you from approvals. They're also keeping you locked out of better funding options, even if you make every single payment on time. And here's the part that most people don't understand. You don't actually have a debt problem, you have a structure problem. In today's video, I'm going to show you the exact process that I use to move my credit card debt off my personal credit profile, which slashed my reported utilization and turned my credit score into an asset instead of a liability. This is the same strategy that helped me push my credit score past 800 and qualify for better credit cards, better limits, lower interest rates, and real business funding. We're going to talk about how to strategically shift personal credit card debt into business credit and why that single move can instantly improve how lenders see you and how lowering your utilization can unlock more approvals, save you thousands of dollars in interest, and put you in position to actually build wealth instead of just keeping your head above water. And to be clear, this is not about avoiding debt. This is about repositioning it so it stops working against you and it starts working for you. And if you stay with me until the end of the video, I'm going to also point you towards some of the best credit cards offering 0% APR, balance transfers, because that's where this process really accelerates. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, before we talk about solutions, you need to understand why credit card debt is such a heavy anchor on your credit score in the first place. Your FICO score is made up of several components, but one of the most powerful is your credit card utilization. This is going to be the percentage of your available revolving credit that you are currently using. Utilization alone makes up 30% of your entire credit score, second only to on-time payments, which is 35%. So that means even if you have never missed a payment in your life, high balances can still drag your score down hard. Most people are told that staying under 30% utilization is the golden rule, but I disagree. While that's not exactly wrong, it's not also a complete answer either. According to FICO's own guidelines, consumers with the highest credit scores typically keep their utilization between 1 and 6%. And ironically enough, the second worst thing that you can have is a balance that's paid in full, which can also drop your score around 15 to 20 points on average. And I know that sounds really weird, but like I tell people all the time, a credit report is how well you pay debt, not how well you pay off debt. So you constantly need to be participating in paying off debt in order to keep your credit score high. Now, personally, I believe in aiming for under 10%. Any single digit range that's realistic is what's best for most people. But I also live in the real world. Life happens, expenses happen, and sometimes balances just happen. But the problem is that once your utilization creeps up, especially above 30%, it starts a negative feedback loop. Your score drops, approvals get harder, interest rates go up, minimum payments increase, and suddenly you're working just to stay in the same exact place. Not to mention, sometimes banks will shrink your credit limit and then they'll close your card. This is where strategy matters more than just sacrificing, and I'm going to explain exactly what that means. The fastest way to relieve pressure on your personal credit utilization is not always paying everything off immediately. Sometimes the smarter move is relocating the debt. One of the most powerful strategies available is shifting personal credit card debt into business credit cards. And here is why this matters. As we've discussed numerous times before, most business credit cards do not report balances to your personal credit report. So that means the debt can exist, but it doesn't inflate your personal utilization while also not hurting your credit score. So when you move personal credit card balances into business credit cards, your personal credit score often improves almost immediately, even though the total amount of debt has not changed. What makes this even more powerful is that many business credit cards offer 0% APR on balance transfers or purchases for the first 12 to 15 months or even longer than that. That means you're no longer bleeding interest while you pay down your balances. So when you do this, not only do you see an immediate credit score increase, you also start saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, instead of fighting your debt, you're controlling it. And even if you don't currently consider yourself a business owner, I want you to understand this clearly. Anyone can start a business. You don't need employees, you don't need revenue or a storefront. A simple sole proprietor or single member LLC is enough to open the doors to business credit. I have an entire video breaking this down step by step. I'm going to link that video right here. But the most important takeaway here is that access to business credit is not reserved for corporations. It's available to individuals who are willing to structure themselves correctly. Now, I know this question will come up. Let's say you're not ready to apply for business credit cards yet. That doesn't mean that you're stuck. You can still improve your credit card utilization by redistributing balances across your personal credit cards. FICO looks at utilization in two ways. It looks at your overall utilization across all cards. It also will look at each card individually. This means a single maxed out card can hurt you more than 3 moderately used cards, even if the total balance is the same. So imagine you have 3 credit cards, each with a $5,000 credit limit. If one card is maxed out and the other 2 have 0 balances, that maxed out card is doing some serious damage. If you spread the balances evenly across all 3 cards, each of those cards might report a balance around $1,600. So from a scoring perspective, this often looks healthier, though the total debt hasn't actually changed. Balance transfers can help you do this, but you must understand the trade-off. Most balance transfers come with a fee, usually around 3%. Sometimes credit unions can waive this, but most large banks normally don't. You need to compare that fee against the interest that you're currently paying right now. In many cases, paying a one-time fee to reduce interest and improve your credit profile is a smart move. If you guys want a list of the best balance transfer credit cards of 2026, I'm going to link that video here as well. I just made this video recently, so all the information is definitely up to date. Another overlooked strategy is requesting credit limit increases. Now, when you increase your credit card limit, your balances stay the same, but utilization automatically goes down. This strategy works best when your credit is already in decent shape, and if all your cards are maxed out, it may be harder for you to get approvals. But if your utilization is moderate and your payment history is solid, this can be one of the fastest ways to win. Many lenders allow you to request credit limit increases with only a soft increase, so that means there's no impact to your credit score if you're denied. And the key here is mindset. Most people never ask. They assume the answer will be no, so they never give themselves a chance to hear yes. Now let's talk about more advanced strategies that focus on timing rather than just the totals. Velocity banking is a method where you use your income strategy to temporarily reduce balances before they're reported to the credit bureaus. Credit cards typically report your statement balance, not your daily balance. Remember, credit card reports are static. So that means if you pay your card down right before the statement cycle date closes, utilization can appear much lower even if you use the card again afterwards. The process looks like this. You apply your income aggressively towards a credit card, reducing the balance as much as possible before the statement cycle date closes. Once the statement cycle date does close and reports, your utilization will actually be seen as low. Again, credit reports are static, they're a snapshot. After that, you continue using the card for expenses and the balances grow again. Then you repeat the cycle. Now, that doesn't eliminate debt. What it does is optimize how that debt is seen and keeps your credit score high for future approvals. Now, if you want to see how to use this correctly to lower the balances, I just did an entire video on this velocity banking strategy. I'm going to link that video here as well. However, if you use this strategy correctly, this can temporarily boost your score and improve your approval odds while you work on a longer-term solution. This can also get you a credit limit increase or get you approved for a balance transfer card, as well as getting approved for business credit cards. Another powerful move is transforming credit card debt into installment debt. Credit cards are revolving accounts. Balances fluctuate, minimum payments change, and utilization constantly impacts your score. Now, installment loans work differently. They have a fixed payment. Loans don't impact utilization metrics. They affect debt to income ratios, which isn't something on your credit report. When you use personal loan or debt consolidation loans to pay off your credit cards, your revolving utilization will drop. Your score will often improve even though you still owe money. Installment debt is generally viewed as less risky by scoring models because it follows a predictable schedule. Also, interest rates on loans are typically lower than credit card rates, which means more than likely you're going to save more money because most of your payments will go towards the principal instead of interest. If your goal is to strengthen your credit profile quickly to unlock better approvals, authorized user accounts can also help. Being added as an authorized user on a well-managed credit card can boost your available credit, lower utilization, and it can also add positive history to your report. The cleanest way to do this is through a trusted family member or a partner. Ideally, the primary account holder keeps the card and you simply benefit from the account history. There's also a paid route through trade lines where you essentially rent a spot on someone else's account for a short period of time. Now, these accounts typically remain on your report for 1 to 2 months before being removed, but the history can stay on your credit report for years. Now, for this, timing is critical. Trade lines work best when you need a temporary boost before an application. Once again, I have an entire video on this topic as well with Trade Line Supply Co. I'm going to link that video here, but I think there's a limit to how many videos I can link. So if you don't see the link up here, then go to my YouTube channel. There's a magnifying glass, type in Trade Line Supply Co. and you're going to find that video. If there's one lesson I want you to take from this entire video, it's going to be this. Business credit gives you leverage without punishing you for your personal profile. Personal credit is fragile, business credit is scalable, and by shifting debt strategically, lowering utilization, and using 0% interest periods wisely, you can stop playing defense and start playing offense. And as promised, we're going to look at the best business credit cards that offer 0% APR balance transfers. Now, these are the tools that make this entire strategy work. So if you're serious about transferring debt into actual opportunity, then these cards will help. The first card on our list will be the PNC Visa Business Credit Card. So with this card, you get an introductory 0% annual percentage rate for the first 13 billing cycles following account opening. That's going to be on purchases and balance transfers when the balance is transferred within the first 90 days following account opening. Now, this is currently at the time of recording this video. I did put links to each of these cards in the description so you can click on it depending on when you're watching this to make sure that this is still available for you. Now, I have an entire video on PNC. Once again, I may not be able to link it, but you can watch that if you want to learn more about PNC. If you want to learn more about how to get qualified, then you'll get more details by looking at that video. The next card on our list will be the State Farm Business Cash Rewards Visa Signature Card. Now, with this card, you get 3% cash back plus a low intro rate, and that's going to be 0% APR for 12 billing cycles, and that's going to be on your purchases, and it's going to also be on balance transfers. I also have a separate video that's dedicated to just getting approved for this card. If you guys want to watch that, once again, I know I'm not going to be able to link all of these. Unfortunately, I just can't. So you'll have to just go to my channel, hit the magnifying glass, search for it, type in State Farm Business Card. It's going to come up and you can watch that. The next card that we're looking at is the US Bank Business Platinum Card. With this one, you also get a 12-month billing cycle where you can get 0% APR on purchases and balance transfers. After that, it's going to go to the standard variable APR. Again, that might change depending on the time that you're watching this video. Now, I do have a couple videos on US Bank. With their credit cards, they tend to have this 0% APR offer going on usually every single year. I doubt it's going to change, but you always want to click the links and make sure that it's still available. And also check the fine print to make sure that it's still available for balance transfers. To wrap up this list, the last 3 cards that we're going to look at will come from First Citizens Bank. Again, I have an entire video on First Citizens Bank. You can see how I got approved for this card. It was a very healthy limit and it's fairly easy to get approved for them, but you do have to go down to a branch in person in order to do that. And hopefully there is a First Citizens in your area. The first card that we're going to look at is the Rewards Business Credit Card. With this card, you get 0% introductory APR on purchases and balance transfers for 9 months. Then it'll be 15.74% to 24.74% variable APR. There's no annual fee on this card, so it won't cost you to keep it open. And again, this may be subject to change. You want to take a look and see if it's still available. We also have the Cash Rewards Business Credit Card. With this one, you receive 1% back on all purchases, as well as 2% back on gas and office supplies, 5% back on utilities and wireless phone purchases for the first 12 months. Then it's 3%. but you get 0% introductory APR on balance transfers for 9 months as well. And then the last one, which will probably be the one that most of you will want, the low interest business credit card, 0% introductory APR on balance transfers for the first 12 months. Then it's the standard variable APR rate with no annual fee. Now, while this card has no rewards, the main purpose is that we have long 0% APR for 12 months, so we can use that to transfer any personal debt over to this card. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, in the description, you'll find that curated list of all the business cards that we talked about today. And if you found value in this video, please make sure that you subscribe, because everything on this channel is about turning financial confusion into clarity and control. I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys use these strategies in business funding in order to scale and start your own business to take control of your finances. Even if you don't have any ambitions of being an entrepreneur or making a ton of money, that is completely fine. You don't have to do that, but at least you know some strategies to handle debt, to pay it down without it affecting your credit score or impacting any future funding that you may need, like buying a house or getting a car or anything else in between. If you guys have any additional questions, please leave them in the comments below. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it, and you guys have a wonderful day.